Well, hello there everybody, and welcome to my channel. Been on a little bit of a lazy streak the last week. I had a few days where I just didn't have any time. A couple days I felt sick and my daughter was over, and anyway, it's been a while, and I'd hoped to continue to churn these out on a daily basis, but whatever, not a big deal. I'm back. Today I'm joined over here by my daughter's new Skylander figure that I got for her today. Or yesterday actually, springtime trigger happy, kind of like the Easter version, the Easter holiday special figure. If you know anything about Skylanders, you know that they put out holiday ones. Anyway, I'm doing a pickups video today. These are some recent pickups from about the last week or so. I was going to push this off for a little bit longer because I have a few things coming this next week that I wanted to include, but I've got enough stuff here to kind of show off, and then I have some big stuff coming along, hopefully this coming week. So anyway, let's just jump right on in. I'm going to start with a couple of movies that I picked up, including this one that I just got today. This is a DVD, and it's a 3-pack, as you can see on there. Richard Pryor. It's a collection of movies. This was $5. I think I've mentioned it before, but I'm not a super big DVD collector anymore. I buy all my movies on Blu-ray unless I get a special deal or I find something that's only available on DVD. This was a special deal. For $5 I got 3 movies. See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which is like one of my favorite Richard Pryor movies of all time. Probably second only to Brewster's Millions, which is amazing. And then it's got Stir Crazy. Excuse me. When it comes to Gene Wilder movies, this one, that one's supposed to be up there with Blazing Saddles and the like. And I've never seen Stir Crazy, so now I've got that. And then the last movie is The Toy, which is another really good Richard Pryor movie. So for $5, I thought it was well worth it. I've had 2 Blu-ray purchases to show. American Hustle. I've never seen this movie, but it's from the director of Silver Linings Playbook, which was an amazing movie that had Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper in it. I really loved that movie, so I thought I'd give this one a try. It had a lot of buzz, including Best Picture nominations. And then this one here, which is more really for my daughter than for myself, but it's Frozen, the phenomenon that is Frozen. I assume here in the next few weeks I'll be watching this movie with her. Alright, let's jump into my stack of games. I'm looking at about 7 or 8 games here. So we're going to start out with a Dreamcast title that I got called Floygan Brothers. And what's odd is that it says up here Volume 1. So apparently they planned on continuing this series, but because of the demise of the Dreamcast, I think they only ended up getting this one out. It looked interesting though. Here's an old game that I had from the PlayStation 1 that I actually enjoyed, even though it's not rated very well. But this is Spawn the Eternal. I love Spawn, and I was really into the Spawn stuff back in those days. The movie, the HBO show, I think it was HBO. Yeah, HBO. And some of the comics. I don't have a lot of the comics, but I had to get that back into my collection. And speaking of Spawn, we have a PlayStation 2 Spawn game called Spawn Armageddon. I don't think I've ever played this one, so it'll be fun to jump into that at some point. I don't know why, but the seller of this, there must have been a label on this that they cut off, and a label down here on the barcode that they also cut off. I kind of don't like that, but whatever. Alright, let's cover a couple of Nintendo games. I bought a new 3DS game. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. This was the special handheld version of Arkham Origins, kind of like a companion story to the Origins game that was made for the Vita and the 3DS. I've been playing this the last few days. It's really fun. I actually quite enjoy it, even though it's done in a different style. It's not as open world as the Batman games are. And I got a couple of games to add to a collection that I have, a mini collection within my games, but that's the Tenchu series. The original 2 Tenchu games on the PlayStation 1 are some of my favorite PS1 games, so I've been trying to fill in the blanks. This is the Wii game that they had called Shadow Assassins. I don't know if it's really any good. I noticed that this is a Ubisoft game, and some of these other ones are not, like Tenchu, Return from Darkness for the original Xbox, which shows that it's an Activision game. So, I'm just glad to have a couple more Tenchu games in my collection. I'm looking for a few more to finish it out. Another original Xbox game, Tao Feng, Fist of the Lotus. This is from one of the creators of Mortal Kombat, who he went off to do a fighting game of his own. I don't think it's going to show on here which one it is. I don't know if it's Boone or Tobias. But it was cheap, and I just thought I'd get it in my collection. I bought a 360 game. Now this one's kind of more for my daughter than myself. This isn't really my style of game, but she got hooked on YouTube videos of this last year. But this is Plants vs. Zombies. It's an okay game. It's a puzzle style game that they're not fun to me to just sit there and click and position and strategize and that kind of stuff. This kind of game is not my thing. That being said, I will probably give this a whirl at some point and maybe even use some of the tips from the playthroughs that I saw. The playthrough that I saw was from a YouTuber called Nintendo Capri Sun, and his videos kind of sold me on this being something I would at least get for my daughter. And we come to my big pickup in as far as games are concerned this week, and I have one more item after this to show off. But this is the HD remaster. As if I hadn't already said in the past, I'm not a big fan of these, but this one was one I just couldn't pass up. It's the HD remaster and the limited edition version of Final Fantasy X and X-2 for the PlayStation 3. I've barely touched the Final Fantasy X series. I own X and X-2 on the PS2, but the only game that I've played was a little bit of X 10 years ago, maybe, like when it was maybe a couple years old, but I gave it a shot. I liked the looks of it. I was kind of trying to get into the story and the characters. Maybe the Blitzball, I think, in this one was throwing me a little bit. But like I said, I was giving it a shot, but I just couldn't get that far through it. And I felt bad because I'm a Final Fantasy fan one way or another, even if the games are not, reviewed very well. I have the first 13 games, and I'll be getting Lightning Returns at some point. I want to support the series because it provided me with some of my favorite game experiences of all time back in the 90s. So I had to have this in my collection. It was only $40 to get this limited edition, which has the art book packaging, an artwork and concept book, and a foreword by Yoshinori Kitase, the game's original producer. I'm not sure if there's anything else special in this. There was apparently a collector's edition that had more, but it was like twice the price, and I was like, this'll work. I'm not going to spend $80 on something like that. Alright, and the last thing I have to show off is something that I get occasionally. Video game promotional stuff that comes through my store, or that just comes from wherever I can get it. This was something I just couldn't pass up. It's for a game I don't own on a console that I don't own, but if I ever got one of these consoles, I would get this game because I love the Donkey Kong Country game so much. But this is a promotional displayer for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and I wanted to be able to show this in the video in such a way that you could kind of understand that it's sort of a three-dimensional thing with Donkey Kong and Diddy, and I can't remember all the Cranky Kong and whatnot. I don't remember all the names of the characters, and I don't know how many of these characters might be new for this version of the game. But this came out on the 21st, and I figured about a month was long enough, and then I was going to make sure that this didn't run away into somebody else's hands, somebody else's collection. So this is really cool. I really like this. I don't mind having Nintendo stuff for consoles I don't own and for games I don't own, as long as they're properties that I'm into. And Donkey Kong is one of the properties I'm into. Legend of Zelda would be another one. I don't jump on a lot of Mario things, though. Sorry, I'm just not a huge Mario fan. I think Mario's a little overdone in this day and age. So anyway, that's it. Really excited for this coming week. If my calculations are correct, I'm getting a really, really, really cool, brand new Dreamcast game this week, along with a strategy guide for it. And I'm eager to show that off. And there's a couple more games pickups from eBay that will be coming through in the next week or so. So I'm thinking that maybe by this time next week there'll be another pickup video like this. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.